Hi, Connie Jo Holmes here. Today I want to talk to you about leadership at any level. Let me start with a proper introduction. I am the owner of BU2BFULL Hypnosis and Coaching, and my mission with my company is to teach individuals how to confidently and courageously move from reacting to life to owning your life. And to me, learning when, where, and how you can be a leader at any level is a great way to learn how to own your life. So as with most of my videos lately, I actually have a story to support this. And it goes, I was in my early 20s and I had a position where I worked for a mid-sized corporation. There was like 525 employees. And I was an administrative assistant reporting to two vice presidents. And one of my bosses, one I just adored, the other one, he was difficult, and we just didn't mesh, and that really bothered me. We did good work together and that type of thing, but just not meshing with somebody that I saw almost every day of my life really bothered me. And so what ended up happening was we had an open position in our company, in our department, and it was for a supervisor. And I knew I was an ideal candidate for it, so I had planned on applying for it. And so one day I scheduled a meeting with him and I was inquiring about it. Well, he shot me down immediately. He told me that I wasn't ready for the position and all these types of things. And so I was pissed. So what I did was I found a colleague and I'm barking and complaining and whining to her about it. And finally, one day she took me to task and she said, "You know what? You've been complaining about this for a while. What are you going to do about it?" And I was really taken aback because I thought, I just want to complain. Like, what do you mean? What am I going to do about it? And so then she told me about the concept of different personality types and how if you're a certain personality type, you know, especially people of the opposite personality type, it might be hard to mesh with. And there's ways to figure out different personality types, and then through that you can identify how you can work with them better. So I was like, all right, I'm going to read this book, and it was called Personality Plus. Highly recommend it. And also, I want to tell you, I write about this very specific story in my book, which is titled Be You to Be Full, Learn the Art of Self-Acceptance for a Life of Confidence and Fulfillment. So this story is in here, but I'm tying it now to leadership, and I'll explain why in a second. So anyway, so I read this book, and in the meantime of all of this going on, another person gets hired for that position, okay? And so we actually ended up becoming friends and all that stuff, which I think kind of probably further made my boss a little crazy, but that's okay. But anyways, so I'm reading this book and all this kind of stuff, and I'm applying every single thing I'm learning. And sure enough, in the middle of all this, the gal only stuck around for like 3 months. And so then, but that was enough time. I didn't know any of this at the time, of course, but in that 3 months, it was enough time for me to read the book, apply towards my VP boss what I was learning, and for him to notice it. So then what ended up happening was after this person left and this position was open, he actually scheduled a meeting with me. And in that meeting, he basically, if I remember correctly, he even like went like this, like, what's going on? Like, he pointed at me, like, what happened to you? And I knew what he meant. And so I decided right then and there that I was going to be vulnerable. I was going to be vulnerable and tell him how I did not like how our relationship wasn't really meshing well, and that I discovered this book. I discovered his personality style. I realized that we were polar opposites, and I applied my learnings on how to approach him, how to communicate with him, that he would hear and see and feel. And sure enough, in doing that, he saw it. And so that's why we were having this conversation. And so he hired me on the spot for that job. And it was lovely and wonderful and all that stuff. Couple of things with this. First of all, the person who turned me on to this book, you may have heard that phrase that people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Well, you know what? She was in my life because she was a very noble friend when she kicked my pants and said, What are you going to do about it? And then turning me on to these books and everything, because it really was, that started a great trajectory in my life and my professional, like, corporate career and all that stuff. But anyways, so she clearly came into my life for a reason, because she needed to turn me on to this book and all of that. So I think that's great. But anyways, what does all of this have to do with leadership? Well, what it is, you know what, I could have easily have put myself, and I did for a while, but keep myself in that lower tiered position, because he was my boss. He had that big fancy VP title. He had the corner office, and he was older than me. So I right there could have looked to him to be the leader, but I decided, no, I'm not going to do that. Did I know any of this at the time that I was being a leader? No. But upon reflection, I can totally see it. And that's my message to you, are what areas in your life right now that you can be a leader at any level? Because I decided that I wanted to take matters into my own hands. So right there, I was a leader. I made a decision. I further deepened my leadership skills by taking action, but then applying all of my learnings. And then my last thing where I really became a leader was in that split second, I decided to be vulnerable. And if you think about it, think about leaders in your life, the ones that really, really stick with you. I guarantee you, they are probably the ones that have made themselves vulnerable, real. They show you their real you, because in doing that, you see their human side. And then that, allows that relationship to be a little bit richer and purer and that type of thing. And then you see them as being human, and therefore you are more interested and willing, to listen to them, to follow them, to be involved with them, that type of thing. And so to me, that vulnerability is a great quality of a leader as well. So that is my message in today's video, is to look at your life and decide, no matter where you are, what position you hold, your gender, your age, none of that stuff matters. We all can be leaders at any level. So identifying where, when, and how you can be a leader in your life. So I hope my personal story kind of gave a new perspective as to what leadership can be. All right, I hope that was helpful. If so, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I do have to tell you, this topic means so much to me that I actually created a meetup group. It's actually a membership group, so there is a monthly fee to it, but it's titled Leadership at Any Level. And we are going to talk about these types of things, but not just talk about it. Actually, I'm going to give to you resources and tools and ideas and concepts on how you can grow your leadership qualities. So, all right, I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.